Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of Daily Spawn Only Ironman Challenge. I haven't posted an update for this challenge in quite a while, so if you want to catch up, there should be a playlist with the previous two episodes. Join me today as I fail to record an important development, get stuck in Edron, and finally, after tens of hours, obtain equipment you should probably have in like one. In our last episode, I was finally able to lay my hands on the Morning Star. While by no means a top weapon, it would still help me a lot with my next task. While I always prefer to clear out the enemies that guard any potential upgrades, this time on this character I am simply not able to. I am quite heavily underpowered. I don't have access to supplies, at least not in amounts that I would like to. So while not impossible, it would still take some unholy amounts of grind in order to raise my level enough to be able to kill strong opponents such as dragons or dragon lords with gear that I currently have. Firstly, I needed to secure some additional funds. The daily gold spawns that I have shown you in the last episode were no longer enough. I needed more, and thankfully there was a place where I could get more. During one of my streams, while exploring the troll caves to the east of Ties, we stumbled upon an old site that I have completely forgotten about. Above this remote lava room, there is a even more hidden lair. You can only access it if you stack parcels and then walk against an immovable object. Of course, you could also use the levitate spell, but at this point I did not have a premium account, so I could not do that. On that secret level, you can find a bunch of troll champions, as well as a chest containing almost 200 gold pieces. In the same area, if you are lucky enough, you can also find a chest to the south, near the underground river, and you do need to be lucky, because there is a carrion worm nearby, and it tends to walk on it, thus despawning the chest. Inside the chest there is a Carlin sword that can fetch you a pretty nice price in a shop. Needless to say, a trip to that place became a part of my daily routine. Combining all the other daily spawns that I have already known about, I could make a little bit over 400 gold pieces every day if I bothered covering them all. With a basic income secured, I was finally free to work on my levels. I still could not afford to be wasteful during my hunts, because I needed all the supplies I could get to fulfill my next goal. Thankfully, I could, very carefully, hunt in the undead sternum caves. If I wanted to stand a chance, I needed to level up all the way to level 50. With that, I could access strong healing potions, which were vital if I wanted to survive. Now I can finally reveal the ultimate reason why I decided to wield clubs during this playthrough. Under Plains of Havoc, there is a certain dragon lair. It is old enough to still be subject to the old school level design rules. A dragon lair needed a dragon horde, and these dragons hoarded some particularly useful items: steel helmet, plate armor, and, the best of all, the war hammer. While the armor upgrade isn't anything special, most people have access to better gear just after leaving Rookguard. The Warhammer is actually one of the best weapons that I could wield at my current level. After a long and tedious grind, I was finally ready to tackle the challenge. Even the way to the lair was rather treacherous. Plains of Havoc is home to many dangerous creatures, such as tarantulas, giant spiders, cyclops, and different kinds of minotaurs. If I were to run into a giant spider, I would perish for sure. I probably could handle a cyclops or two, and might be able to kill a tarantula, but with my limited amount of money, it was simply not worth tussling with them. I picked out a rather safe route that minimized the chances of me running into a straight giant spider, and finally made my way down into the dragon lair. There was no time to relax, however, because even on the lowest level there was already a dragon waiting for me. I rushed past it and then ran into two more dragons. That was still not the full extent of the risk that I was going to make. Bravely delving into the deepest parts, I instantly run into another dragon. Soon after it follows a Dragon Lord and then 3 more dragons. I have previously memorized the exact location of all the items that I was after. It's a good thing that I did as well, because instantly the Dragon Lord covered some of it with permanent fire. First, I went ahead and picked up the steel helmet. Then I made a risky maneuver, went straight to the south for the Warhammer, risking getting surrounded by the dragons. Thankfully, they weren't very quick on their feet, and I was able to get away. It was at this point that I got stupidly lucky. The Dragon Lord must have gotten himself stuck somewhere in the southern part of the cave and was not able to give chase. I quickly browsed through the flames that the Dragon Lord has left behind and found a full piece of plate armor waiting for me just to be picked up. I did not waste any time. All the items were in my inventory now and all I had to do was get away. On my way to the surface, I equipped all the new gear and then decided to have a final triumphant battle against the single dragon that was in the upper floors. Having slain the beast, I was sure my challenge was going to be over now. I even forgot about my no looting rule for a moment and picked up the gold and a dragon's tail that dropped from it. However, I then realized that my journey was not over quite yet. At this point, I was already done with the free account Ironman challenge, and I have purchased a premium account. That meant I had access to one more item that I could obtain that would be a daily spawn and a direct upgrade to one of my worst slots. Before I could go and grab it, I still needed to get my level up to 60. I spent the last of my money on a journey to Edron. The City of Heroes would be the location of the item that I was after. I decided it would also be fitting to get my final 10 levels in that area. However, it was way worse EXP than Undead Sternum Caves. I spent some time hunting local orcs, wyverns and exploring around. However, there weren't that many daily item spawns outside of the one that I was searching for. They certainly weren't valuable enough, and I was short enough on money that I could not afford to charter a ship back to the mainland. I ended up having to pawn off my trusty pickaxe, and only then was I able to charter a flying carpet back to Carlin. Now all I needed to do was level up, and level up I did. I then made my way to the Edron Dragon Lair. I really like the fact that once more we need to steal the items away from a dragon's horde. Unfortunately, I messed up the recording and I did not capture what exactly happened in the Dragon Lair, so here you can enjoy my quick recreation of the events. I carefully made my way down to the cave, rushed past a couple of dragons, past the blasted gate of experience that made me grind all the way to level 60 with nothing but a warhammer and no money for supplies, dropped into a absolute hellhole, filled to the brim with Dragon Lords and Dragon Lord hatchlings, quickly located and grabbed the item I was after, the fabled plate legs, and then started circling the cave trying to get away. Unfortunately, due to all the fire that has been placed on the floor, I was completely unable to locate the rope hole up. I would circle and circle, I would use potions and potions, and finally, I succumbed to endless attacks of the Dragon King. Thankfully, I did not lose any items, save for my legs, the plate legs that I came to obtain. And so I had to grind my level back to 60, regain enough money to be able to buy a bunch of potions again, and only then would I be once again able to steal from the dragons. I started collecting another valuable daily item. In the western parts of Jackandaf Desert, you can find a hidden hole. It leads to a cave, and within that cave there is a hidden talon that you can sell in Caroline for some decent money. After a long time of collecting and leveling, I was finally ready to regain my lost honor. This time I took a screenshot of the cave and marked exactly where the rope hole is. All I had to do was go in and out, a quick 5-minute adventure. I safely reached the fabled plate legs, however I had no capacity to carry them. I had to start looping around again. I threw away 100 pieces of bread, and I already started having flashbacks from the last time. Thankfully, there were no further complications. I picked up the plate legs, I roped myself out, and just like that, I was finally done. Skogul the Looter. The daily spawn Ironman challenge, a long and tedious journey of ups and downs, was finally over. There are no items better than the ones that I have that I could obtain as daily spawns anywhere. If you believe that I have missed something, then please definitely let me know. However, for now I am going to officially call this challenge over. Thank you very much for watching. Feel very welcome to leave me a comment, consider joining my Discord, and thank you very much for your support. I will see you next time.